shit. Tony, do me a favor, will you please? Will you? Will you do me a kindness? Don't slam the fucking door.
Get off my phone! Get off my phone, you little pinhead! Get off my phone! Get out of my goddamn car! Now! God damn you to hell! Now!
We'll do it live! Fuck it! Fucking thing sucks!
Now!
Welcome to Two Useless Organisms, a silly topical show where two useless organisms discuss today's hot topics, drink each other's philosophy juice, and drink. And I was going to say drink the internet's most unbelievable Yelp reviews. Read the most unbelievable Yelp reviews. On today's show, we'll discuss our fictional dream crossovers, justifying crime, and deadly toddler Pilates. Huh. All right. Keep in mind that Two Useless Organisms is not safe for work. So, sorry, I'm white as fuck. Come una bolsa de mierda. Oh wait, puta. Oh, I know mierda and puta. I know those words.
All right. Well, you'll have to plug
Kinda.
that into the translator.
I guess I'm gonna do that right now. Okay.
Anywhoozy,
Yeah.
welcome, Tommy. While he does that, I'll introduce.
Yeah.
I'm Tristan. I co-host the show. It's been a hot minute since we've done one of these. It's been a few months, as we just talked about in our recording of Please Remain Seated. Tommy and I have both been traveling. He was in California, and I'll read the laundry list again, was in Pennsylvania, Maryland,
Eat a bag
Virginia,
of
Washington,
shit, you dumb
D.C.
bitch.
There you go. You got it. Pennsylvania, Maryland,
translation.
Virginia, Washington, D.C., Nevada, and Arizona. So,
Yeah.
here we are. And New Orleans on layover.
I was just thinking because we just recorded Please Remain Seated, and now we're recording this like in between the recordings. I was thinking about how it's been so long. There was an assassination attempt on a former president since our last recording.
Yeah, and all we did was talk about dumb theme park shit.
Right? I mean, that's what we do.
But yes, there has been that, and that was insane. And then, politics aside, to be alive.
Biden dropped out. Like it's been wild, bro.
Yeah.
Like
to be alive. And you know what? And another thing that Tommy and I were talking about off the air was we were reminiscing about COVID and how this podcast was born about 4.5 years ago out of COVID. And
4.5 years.
COVID was probably the craziest thing we'll live through. But then, it just occurred to me now, we lived through an assassination attempt of a former and possibly future U.S. president. So that is,
got it.
Yeah. But that's another
according to my algorithm, that's not looking likely for him. Hopefully my algorithm is the right one.
I hope you have a good algorithm over there, my boy.
I think I do have a good one, but
Good Lord. The algorithm of the night. Feel the algorithm of the night. So we've been doing all sorts of things. But we're back and I'm happy to be back here. I had a little productivity boost when I was in Vegas. I was in my hotel room while my dad was blowing all his money in the casino, and I was like, I got to get a Yelp review done. I got to get some content done. So I wrote a bunch of content. I found a Yelp review on the internet, and with a Monster Energy drink and a view of the Las Vegas Strip in front of me, I got this done. So here we are. So thank you for going along with our delay. Now, our first topic here, Tommy, if you're ready to hop on in, because I am, is a great topic you came up with and that you told me today, and I love this idea. What is it, Tommy?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So it's the idea of dream crossover. So there's been plenty of iconic crossovers, in cinema and television. Obviously you have the Marvel Cinematic Universe that, that's what kind of inspired it. Because, Deadpool and Wolverine, did you see Deadpool and Wolverine?
I saw it in Vegas. Yep.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Incredible movie. I absolutely adored it. Not gonna say any spoilers yet for people that haven't seen it, but go watch it. Let's see here. And then I was going to say, I think my favorite crossover of all time, you got the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron. Iconic. Love her. But yeah, do you have any dream crossovers, Tristan?
Well, what you just said was going to be my my sarcastic answer. I was going to say, I'd love to see a Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron crossover.
Dude.
But no, you actually mentioned half of mine already, because with the Marvel Cinematic Universe doing what it's doing, and opening the doors to so many things.
Yeah.
My other half of my answer is not superheroes, which is why I think it's the next step for Marvel universe expansion. And that would be combining the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, which is
Ooh,
very relevant right now for the last few years with Johnny Depp being in the news as he has,
okay.
and so many fans, in the wake of the Amber Heard trial, saying we
Mhm.
would love to see Johnny as Jack Sparrow again.
Yeah.
So I think it's an appropriate time to bring pirates back with Johnny, and I think it's an appropriate time for the Marvel Cinematic Universe to go even crazier than they have already. That's my answer.
Dang, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Heck
So
yeah.
they could do it,
I
and
would not
I'll
have thought
I'll
of that one.
I'll branch off really quick here and say
Yeah.
that back in the day, I watched that show Once Upon a Time that was on ABC because it had a lot of Disney characters in it. Obviously, it being on ABC, they could do whatever they wanted with Disney characters, and they it was basically the MCU of Disney characters. They really combined all sorts of things, and I was like waiting and waiting and waiting somehow for Jack Sparrow or Pirates of the Caribbean to be in Once Upon a Time, the same way they brought Frozen in or Tangled
Yeah.
or the old characters. But then I knew it wasn't going to happen when one of the characters references Captain Hook as the modern day Jack Sparrow. And I was like, well, great. You just acknowledged that Jack
Yeah.
Sparrow is fictional. He's probably not going to be in this. But I was crossing my fingers for something like that. So
Wonderful.
anyway, do you have any more? Because you talked about Jimmy Neutron and Fairly Odd Parents, but that's not your dream
Yeah.
crossover because that crossover happened. So what's your dream crossover?
So something that just occurred to me is that I'm holding a pen and not my microphone. Um, we discussed at the beginning of recording, and please remain seated. But I am in the process of moving right now. I move in a few days, and I already packed my microphone. So sorry if my audio sounds bad this recording.
It's probably a pretty interesting
But anyway,
7 minutes for our viewers.
yeah.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, they were probably wondering what's up with Tommy's audio. Yeah, no, I had to. It's with a pen. So let me know if it doesn't sound good. But anyways, so some dream crossovers. All right, so hear me out. Parks and Recreation and two of my favorite sitcoms right there. Want to see them cross over into something. Also, I think a really fun one. You got The Boys on Amazon Prime. Let's mash them into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. See what happens there. Got a Homelander versus who's still alive. I'm like get a Homelander. Wait, I was about to potentially spoil something, but
Mm-mm.
the multiverse exists, so get Homelander versus Tony Stark and Victor Von Doom.
And
Oh
Jack
my God, that
Sparrow.
was another big announcement that happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Freaking RDJ coming back to the MCU
Yep. Yep.
as Victor Von. That's crazy.
So my dad listens to a lot of interviews and
Yeah.
podcasts and media and things like that, and he was talking about how he thinks what they're going to do is basically Robert Downey Jr. as that character is going to be Tony Stark in an alternate universe. That's how they're going to try to make it make sense. So in some universe, is it Doomsday or Doctor Doom? I don't even know, but in some universe, Tony Stark becomes that character. So,
but yeah, Victor Von Doom is the character. Doctor
excellent.
Doom.
You
Yeah.
froze a whole lot there, so hopefully my Wi-Fi is not
Oh,
going out like
crap.
it does every single night
Yeah.
at this time.
Yeah, I just saw your internet connection is unstable.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens.
Which do you watch The Boys?
I have not. I've been told to watch it, and I have not done
Yeah.
it yet.
Yeah, The Boys, Gen V, excellent
Mhm.
shows. The last season of The Boys just now had some patchy parts, but the finale was amazing. Definitely made up for it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, The Boys, Gen V, good soup.
There you go. Good soup.
I need to see Avatar: The Last Airbender crossover into something. What would they cross over into?
Austin Powers.
Austin. I don't know why I'm laughing so much at that, but I didn't see Austin Powers until COVID.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It just like kind of always, I never got around to it. And I remember my roommate's like, dude, we gotta watch Austin Powers. I'm like, honestly, I don't know if I would like this. And then I watched it and I'm like, it's kind of stupid. Let's watch the second one. Yeah, okay, I'm in.
See, did you watch the third one, Goldmember?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
obviously.
good.
Had to watch the
That's
whole
actually my
trilogy.
favorite. Um,
That's your favorite?
I laugh so hard, and it might be because I grew up watching that more than others. I've noticed with certain
Yeah,
movies and certain franchises, if you grow up on a certain one, that's the one
yeah,
you always like the most. But Goldmember, man, I laugh my ass off every time I watch that movie.
yeah. No,
So
I I think I'm Austin Powers too. Why am I blanking out on the name of it? The shagged
yeah, The Spy Who
something.
Shagged Me.
The spy that shagged me. That's
Yeah.
my favorite one. Introduction to Mini Me, incredible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a phenomenal.
Just the
It's
whole
what is it? It's like all those Eddie Murphy movies where he plays the same person but for white people.
yeah,
And
yeah.
uh, so anyway,
White people.
white people. But yeah, I love that. So okay, well now let me ask you this: in Avatar: The Last Airbender, is there a character named Zuko?
Yes.
Okay, now if I'm remembering correctly, the main character in Greece, his name is Danny Zuko.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's true or not. It's in my brain. So
No, that
there's a
sounds right.
multiverse right there. Two Zukos fighting against each other. One of them is a dumb
Two
greaser.
Zukos, one Grease.
Well, there's the name of the episode. You got it right there, and I'm glad you said that. um,
Me too.
anyway, so that's a great idea. I like that idea. And with entertainment being the way it is, who knows, man? They can mix all sorts of things together as long as the same company owns it, and that's all we need.
I do think Pirates of the Caribbean and Avatar: The Last Airbender, at least like the original, like Avatar: The Last Airbender, that's probably around the same time period in their respective universes.
Yeah,
So that
it
might
could
be able
be.
to mesh well.
I mean, both of them obviously have that
Yeah,
supernatural type of, there's magic almost, there's special
yeah,
powers. So who knows what could happen there? Ooh,
yeah. Get some
goodness.
blood bending in there.
Mhm. Davy Jones is definitely a waterbender if you think about it.
Oh yeah, no,
It's a,
he, yeah,
it's the sea. So
absolutely.
that's
You
fantastic.
never tried The Last Airbender fan?
I watched it as a kid, the original cartoon. I don't know much about it.
Oh, bro,
I know
gotta
there's
rewatch it, bro.
Aang and Appa and Zuko.
Dude, me and my girlfriend rewatched that show recently. I forgot how funny Momo was.
Is Momo
Like
the
this was
monkey
like
thing?
my yeah, like this was my fourth rewatch of the show, but like I didn't remember him being as funny as he was. Like he made me laugh literally every episode except for one episode in the third season.
Well,
Like every single episode, he did something stupid that made me laugh. I mean,
good for you.
just thinking about him as a kitty and how much I want a kitty.
Great. I'm so glad now,
Cats
dude.
in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Cats the musical
Oh
in
my gosh,
Avengers.
the Taylor Swift cats, the really weird looking one, the live action one, mixed with
Yeah,
well, that's what's the worst Marvel movie. Um, Eternals. Is there something worse than
yeah.
Eternals?
Not that I can think of. I can't think of a movie from the MCU that I'm least fan of more than that one.
Yeah, there you go. Cats and Eternals. Cats Eternals.
I would forget about it a few days later.
Fabulous. Well, hopping on out of that and into something else that doesn't matter. Are we? Do we receive funding for the show, or what? What's the problem? What do we do?
Today's show is sponsored by Pen Microphones. If you ever accidentally pack your microphone and need to record a podcast, grab a pen that is also a microphone. Pen microphones for your podcast recording after you accidentally pack stuff, and then you can even write on you can write it and use it as a microphone. See, I am writing that I heart Tristan on my hand, and then still using it as a microphone. Thank you, Pen Microphone, for sponsoring the show.
Well, thank you, pen microphones. I'm an avid user. I have real microphones too, but I do. Oh, you're washing yours off. I'll do this. I'll do the same.
Yeah, well, I used hand sanitizer. It only kind of faded a little bit.
Yeah,
Probably, oh, yeah,
I'm
same.
skipping my high school reunion, by the way. I don't even care.
Honestly, I don't even know if my high school did one.
Yeah,
If they did, I didn't hear about it.
do not give a care. All right. So pen microphones and Jews. So we're gonna move on to my topic
Yeah,
here.
thank you, Jews, for sponsoring.
Thank you, Jews, for nothing. I was actually sitting in a lounge, and I can't remember the name of the lounge, but it's at the Boardwalk Resort at Disney. I was
Hey,
just chilling in
yo.
there with my laptop one day, and I thought of this topic. So it's a question here: what's worse? Okay, drugs, stealing, or speeding? Now, there's an argument for why some of these aren't as bad as people make them out to be, but there's also an argument as to why they are bad. Excuse me, why they are bad. So, right off the bat,
Hmm.
Tommy, do you have an opinion on this matter?
You know, honestly, right off the bat, gun to my head, I'd say stealing would be the worst of those crimes, but also I kind of feel like it depends on the severity of each one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, like, we go to drugs, who cares if you're doing drugs, if you're just smoking a little weed, maybe even a little Molly, that's fine. I don't think you smoke Molly, but that's not. But then, if you do something extreme like, heroin or, meth, like that's not good. You're really doing bad stuff to yourself. Don't even try those things once. Not even if you're curious, not good. Stealing, you know, stealing just seems like an obvious illegal thing, but in this economy, you kind of got to do what you got to do, and as long as you're not hurting anyone, and you're stealing from the rich anyway, they have enough money. Is it really that bad? Um, and then honestly, speeding in my head it seems like the least offensive. But we live in Central Florida. I'm driving on I-4 every day. I see some crazy drivers. So like, but granted, if you're like speeding on like an empty road, like you're on a road trip, that's totally fine. Go 85 in the 70, get to where you need to be. Um, it's like speeding almost seems like the most dangerous one of this one, but it at the same time also seems like the least harmless in a way.
Mm.
Tristan, what are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts here, and boy, do I love thoughts, are I have 3 bullet points for each. So we'll start with
We're
drugs.
very philosophical on this show.
Very full of the juices are
Yeah.
flowing. Some
Yeah.
drugs are worse than others. Some lead to worse drugs, right? A lot of different types of drugs can be gateway drugs. Some will kill you, but many people take all kinds of drugs
Yeah.
in moderation and they have no problems. So
Yeah.
that's my argument for that. I'll go to stealing. Stealing can obviously carry significant repercussions, but is typically worse if you're stealing from a middle or low class person. However, it may be considered
Correct.
wrong if you're stealing from the rich or a giant corporation, just like you
Yeah.
said. So far,
See,
we're on the same.
I didn't even think about robbing. For some reason, when I was thinking of stealing, I was thinking more shoplifting. I didn't even think about just stealing like from someone less fortunate, or
I
even just
know.
like burglary. That's just like that, honestly, that would just make me sad.
See, man,
Someone broke my window, stole my PS5. I'd be really upset.
I know. I see. I'm a follower of a lot of like independent bands, and smaller bands. And the amount of times I hear about a band, just a van for a band being parked outside, and they come back out from their show, the windows are shattered, gears stolen. It happens all the
Jeez.
time, especially
Oh
in
my
San
God.
Francisco. But but
It makes me sad.
there's all those violent gays over there. But anyway, so that was stealing. And speeding. All right, I'll talk about speeding. Speeding is very common, and most would probably admit to doing it somewhat regularly.
Yeah.
However, in the event of an accident, speeding can be the difference of life and death and can affect people of all ages. So there's often no excuse for speeding unless some sort of emergency. But even in that case, you're risking getting pulled over and delaying your travels even more than if you drove the speed limit. So
Yeah.
because of the danger of speeding, which I think you were coming to this conclusion a little bit with your point, especially because there's people of all ages on the road at all times. You are driving a death machine. You are driving a thing that can
Yeah.
very easily kill somebody or a whole family.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, my final answer for which is the worst is speeding.
I can get behind that, I think. Because that's like, because drugs. Because I'm assuming we're talking about what's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
And if you are doing drugs, like you said, there's a lot of drugs that are actually just good for you. So, I feel like if you're just making a personal choice now, if you are drugging someone, however, that would probably be the only thing that would make it worse than speeding.
Yeah. That's a good point. I didn't think about if you're using
I
those
honestly
drugs
just thought about it this second.
for more malicious intent. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But I don't think
Um,
most drugs are used that way. So
Yeah, no, correct. We're just talking about doing drugs, like doing drugs in terms of these crimes.
mhm.
That that honestly might be the least bottom of the rank in here of worst thing you can do. Um, Stealing, just the anecdote you gave me made me very upset, man. Just bands just wanting to, they already don't make any money as it is,
Yep.
and you're
Yep.
stealing their shit.
Yeah, literally. I mean, I follow so many small bands, and they like you said, they make no money. They tour the country in a van that breaks down all the time, all their shit's in it, and yeah, they'll come out and all their windows are shattered, so now you have to pay for van repairs. Hopefully, you're not renting it, and all that sort of thing. And now
Yeah,
all your
oh,
gear's gone,
yeah,
and I can tell you, music gear is not cheap. So, um,
yeah, no,
yeah, but
no,
yeah,
it
I
is
agree.
not.
But Well, let's go back to drugs here for a second because another element of drugs is dealing drugs, right? And I don't think a lot of
Mhm.
people think about dealing drugs as being all that horrible. Um, Although it's obviously still a crime, but I mean, in more recent times, with the amount of fentanyl that is
Yeah,
found in regular drugs, fentanyl is laced in all sorts of drugs, and name name a drug dealer, not you personally. I don't know if you can
yeah,
name a drug dealer, but name a drug
yeah.
dealer.
Steven would be upset. Oh,
Oh no,
oh
Steven.
shit,
He's mine too. Oh gosh.
shit.
Um
Fuck. Sorry, Steven.
but name a drug dealer that is going to be trustworthy enough to not, drug dealers by definition are not trustworthy.
Yeah,
Unless they've been
like
like a lifelong friend, but yeah, you might get something
like
laced.
Steven off 192. Trust him with my life.
Yeah, well, your life is in his hands. But that's the thing, you don't know, like with fentanyl being laced in so many things, and the tiniest amount can kill somebody. So it's that's another horrible thing I didn't think of
I
also.
really hope there isn't an actual Steven off 192 now that's gonna come kill me.
Well, like I said, we'd go back to that alternate universe where anybody even knows we're doing this right
Oh
now in the
yeah,
middle
true.
of the night
Oh yeah,
in our
true.
rooms
Yeah,
talking to our laptops.
yeah,
So
yeah.
fabulous. But anyway, that's my final answer was in fact speeding, which even surprised me when I came to it. But when I compared all my pros and cons, that's what I came to the conclusion of. So
I think I think I can get behind that answer because like I said at the beginning of this, gun to my head, I was gonna say stealing, but speeding's probably the most dangerous.
yeah,
You can
it's terrible.
literally kill someone by speeding. Yeah,
Not to bring this in a horrible, dark, and actually truly unfunny place, but I saw a video and it was censored. I didn't have to see the horrible atrocities, but basically two women were in the front of a car. The person driving the car was inebriated. They were under the influence, very drunk.
hmm
And they crashed their car with their toddlers in the back, and one of the toddlers was decapitated by. I'm not lying to you right now. Was decapitated by piece of debris, or the car kind of bent in, or sharp edge of the car.
Jesus.
Um, and
Fuck.
the cop, who was there, the body cam footage I saw was like the child is decapitated. He said it into the radio, and the mom was so out of it she didn't even know. So,
Fuck.
um,
Honestly, that's one of the worst things you can do. Drunk driving.
yeah,
Like, if you have been drinking, don't fucking drive. Don't be a fucking asshole. Don't be an
yep,
idiot.
it's worth the Uber. It is worth the Uber.
Yeah,
Just buy the Uber,
correct.
So anyway,
Yeah,
we're gonna pretend like the both of us even have morals right now, and we're telling people to not drink and
yeah,
drive as if what we say means anything. But please don't drink and drive.
yeah.
Fabulous.
It is a nice juxtaposition from a few minutes ago when you were making fun of Jews to y'all. Let's be serious. Everybody be good sometime, everybody be bad sometime.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah,
That you know what? That's very wise. Often the most
yeah,
profound things are the simplest, and that is a very simple but profound statement. People be good,
correct.
people be bad.
Yeah,
Um,
sometimes.
well, we're going to talk about bad people now because we're going to hop into our
Bad,
Yelp review.
bad people. Boom, 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 boom. Oh wait, you do the song.
Yelp review. Yelp review.
Yelp review. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, all right. So, this Yelp review is for Gianna Lobster Gorgonzola's Pilates camp in Chicago, Illinois.
John Gorgonzola?
Gianna
Gianna.
Lobster Gorgonzola.
Oh fuck. No, I went to high school with her.
No way. You went to
Yeah.
high school with Gianna Lobster Gorgonzola.
Yeah.
I cannot, but it was small
Oh
world.
shit. Oh
Wow.
God, what the fuck did she do?
Well, it's a good thing you didn't go to your reunion, or else you would have found out what she's doing. Um,
Yeah.
I'll
Oh
tell you.
God.
I'll tell you what she's doing. So, and she's in Chicago now. She moved there a number of years ago, but
Yeah.
she runs a Pilates camp anyway. So that's so we're gonna get into the Yelp review here. All right. Illinois is the 23rd best state for Pilates, and you'd think it's only mediocre due to the fact that 2/3 of the state is rural. But I can tell you that as a citizen of Chicago, even I struggle to find a good Pilates program. The two major Pilates studios in the city aren't the best, but I'm here to explain which one you should avoid at all costs. Early in the summer, I enrolled in Gianna Gorgonzola's Pilates camp, as it was the only one of two options, and it seemed like the right choice. I was wrong. As it turns out, the camp is run by a local mob boss, the one and only Gianna Lobster Gorgonzola, or Lobster the Mobster, as she's known in the crime syndicate. She's actually known among Chicago mobsters for all the wrong reasons because she's actually an extreme feminist mob boss who runs a wildly unsuccessful gang of feminist women and one pathetic feminist man. And for having a decent gangster nickname, she earned it in the dumbest way possible by spending all of her time outdoors, mostly doing Pilates and never wearing sunscreen. Get it? Because she's sunburnt. Her gang is extremely unproductive due to the fact that their main method of money laundering is standing outside the headquarters of male led corporations and waving around signs demanding money from them, screaming at the top of their lungs about the patriarchy and ignorantly claiming that the world should only consist of women. As a female who strongly believes in the equality among the genders in society and in the workplace, even I understand how ludicrous of an idea this is. What's worse than the futile protesting is that Gianna and her gang have been known to resort to robbing Boy Scout troops when the public temper tantrums inevitably prove ineffective. You have to
See, I always
understand.
thought that those were rumors because, like, growing up, like, everyone's like, oh, dude, her family's in the mafia, like, and like, she was driving to school in like a really nice Corvette. So, but like, I thought people just dumb high school rumors. Wow.
I
But,
know. Isn't
okay.
that insane? Yeah.
Wow.
I am blown away that you went to school with.
Yeah.
Do you have any classes with her? Did she sign your yearbook?
We had what was that class? It was like we had like sports and entertainment marketing together, just the elective. That's all I had.
Wow.
But
Crazy.
yeah, my yearbooks are in North Carolina. I think she may have signed it. So next time I'm there, I'm gonna get a picture of it.
Yeah, dude, send it. Send it to me. We can post it on the
Yeah.
page. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. All right. You have to understand that I was blissfully unaware of these facts when I enrolled in the program. I showed up to the storefront where everyone meets and puts their stuff away before heading outside and is hit with the foulest odor one can imagine. The rotting bodies in a war zone wouldn't stand up to this. The stench of 1,000 camels collectively taking turns pissing on a skunk's ass while Amber Heard takes a dump on the ground nearby. These ladies are the type of feminist that doesn't wash or shave anything. The only member of this Pilates group with any sense of personal hygiene is the pussy whipped dude who has to hide the fact that he showers after each session, or else the other feminazis would throw a hissy fit about how patriarchal society has conditioned them against their will to take care of themselves. I originally didn't recognize this stench as a product of personal hygiene. Perhaps just an unpleasant smell lingered in from outside, or someone let out a White Castle fart. But when the group congregated to go outside and begin the session, the smell of a dementia patient's week-old soiled diaper followed. We went to a field of grass and sat down to begin the exercises. Like yoga, most prefer to enjoy Pilates with a soft-spoken, soothing instructor. But in this class, Gianna just kept shouting about being victimized by male authority, as if this is some sort of anti-male Pilates boot camp. I feel inclined to reiterate that the stench that emanated from the crotches of these bitches would gag a maggot, and that something must be medically wrong with these women. We took a break halfway through the class, and I went on my phone to see what people were saying about this place, which is where I found out about the mob stuff. But I also discovered that Gianna's biggest competitor is none other than the famous Chicago female mob boss and Pilates instructor, Lavender Lilac Williamsburg, better known as the Fertilizer.
I had no idea that mob bosses were so involved in Pilates.
Yeah, it's a Chicago thing.
Oh,
That's probably
okay, got
that's
it.
probably why
So, yeah,
Gianna
like
moved there.
I'm more familiar with like the New York, New Jersey mobsters. So like that's a
Yeah, no, over there off Lake Michigan, they do things a little differently.
uh,
But yeah, Lavender Lilac Williamsburg, better known as the Fertilizer. Now, Lavender Lilac actually has the reputation of a fierce, cold-hearted gangster, as her gang has been responsible for the deaths of over 200 toddlers, and their criminal calling card is leaving the internal organs of their victims on the grave of the victims' departed relatives. By the time I had consumed all of this information, the break was over, and it was time to go back out to the cow pasture. I stayed in the mindset for 2 weeks that dealing with the stench was the correct choice over enrolling in Lavender Lilac's camp, which was truly a frightening notion. After all, watching Lobster the Mobster shenanigans was very entertaining and harmless fun, considering the police never even bothered getting involved because of how much of a joke this bitch was, and they were usually dealing with Chicago's craziness, including the violence caused by Lavender Lilac's gang. But after those 2 weeks, the miasmic effluvium of Gianna's band of rotting clams caused me to revisit my lunch on a number of occasions, and it was time to find a new Pilates program. I swallowed my fear, as well as a fair amount of orally contained vomit, and signed up for Lavender Lilac's program that same summer. I have to say, my experience there was much more pleasant than Gorgonzola's, apart from the occasional toddler execution when I was trying to focus on my seated scissor kick. Please avoid Gianna Gorgonzola's Pilates camp at all costs, but also find a nice daycare for your children, so you don't have to sacrifice their lives by bringing them to the other camp. 0 out of 5 stars for the loud-mouthed, malodorous, funky guff feminazi Gianna Gorgonzola. Eat shit, cunt.
Feminazi. That is not a word I've heard since like 2014.
It's a piece of vocabulary I wish I could include in my daily routine more.
Why?
I don't know, man. It's the perfect amount of shocking and offensive.
You
know, I don't even know where that word came from. If this reviewer came up with that, and it's a phenomenal word. There are lots of great vocabulary in this person's loudmouth, malodorous, funky guff.
That it had really bad vocabulary.
Anyway, that's actually a little, my neck of the woods is northern Illinois, and I'm about an hour and a half away of Chicago from my hometown. So,
never go to Mindy's Bakery in Chicago?
No, I've never been there.
It's really good.
Great.
Yeah.
Would like to thank everyone for tuning in today.
I felt like an NPC for a second, just waiting for like the next dialogue.
That was a very strange silence.
I felt very comforted by it.
Oh, well, you know what?
I hope everyone else did too.
All right.
Hope everyone enjoyed the sounds of me drinking water and clicking my pen.
Thanks for listening. You know what, Tommy? Why don't you send our viewers and listeners on their way?
Yeah, well, thank you guys for tuning in. Let us know your favorite crossovers and what dream crossovers you would like to see. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, rate 5 stars. And Tristan, what else? What else do we got going on?
I'm gonna have to explain to my boss why I have the word Jew written on my hand. But other than that, we have you can support our show.
You can also wash your hands before.
As little as I don't do that for as little as $3 a month. That's less than a Starbucks drink. Side tangent: I spent an hour in line for Starbucks in Vegas last week because they were super inundated with customers, and they ended up giving my food to someone else. And I stood there for an hour waiting for it. But that's, neither here nor there. So please don't support Starbucks and give $3 a month to our show instead. It allows us to continue producing these shows and continuing on this fun little hobby that Tommy and I like to do.
Well, maybe they wouldn't have given away your food if you'd wash your fucking hands.
Follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram. Support the show. We got Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can leave us rating and reviews on there. Tell your friends about us. I just want to reiterate, we have some really fun, clever T-shirts available on our site, Bonfire. So look up 2 Useless Organism shirts. Fun little design on the front. It says, "Hello, my name is Useless," and it's got some advertising for Tommy and myself on the back. So please check those shirts out. All the money, revenues that the website gives us actually goes straight to Give Kids the World Village in Florida. So that money goes to charity. I actually have to buy a new shirt myself. Mine's all worn out. Um, so please do that. Support our show. Tell your friends and sleep tight, bitches.
Good night.
Two useless organisms. Two useless organisms.
I dropped my